Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday, March 13th. Whoa. Friday the 13th? I'm out of here. That's it. All right. I'm coming up. I don't like horror movies, and my least favorite of those slasher movies, Friday the 13th. Anyway, it's a bad luck day. Is it though, really? Anyway, I'm Michael Taylor. Welcome to the show. Hope you don't believe in those things. I don't. I try to do my best to make my own luck, so don't worry about it. We're going to have a good, safe show for you. No scares, no slashers, no horror at all in store for us. What we do have on the show is going to be Dr. John Hofanesian from Harvard Eye Associates. He's going to be talking to us about the latest and greatest technologies in the world of eye care. And then later in the program, we'll be talking with, Cole's going to be here. I'm not going to be talking to him. Cole's going to be doing his own special segment. It's called Sports Corner. You're going to love it. He always has a great show for us on that one, and always a surprise ending. Like I throw my papers usually, but he always has a better surprise than that. All right, right now, though, we want to keep you informed. And you know what? Our eucalyptus trees aren't actually native to Southern California. They're from Australia. And so they need special attention sometimes. So actually there's some emergency landscaping treatments going on and monitoring and trying to protect the eucalyptus trees because they do get impacted by these invasive dotted, whatever that word is, the leaf thing going on there, some beetle. And it doesn't have like natural predators to kill it and eat it. So that's what happens when you import native things and they come with their native pests. They kind of wipe out the trees. So anyway, they're working on that. So make sure you're just clearing the way for those things and don't come next to if they're marked with yellow flags, leave those trees alone. If you have any questions about what's going on there, you can call Resident Services or email them as well. All right, let's talk about our weather forecast. Much more fun topic there. There's some eucalyptus trees right there in the picture out there. We got sunny skies today and 87 degrees. Yes, the heat is with us, and we're going to have up and down heat for a while, it looks like. Saturday, 83, cool off a little bit. Then we start creeping back up Monday and Tuesday, all the way up to 88 degrees on Tuesday. So the warm weather is going to stick around for a little while, folks. Let's take a look at our sunrise, sunset, and we've got a beautiful picture here from LACMA. Thank you, Cole. Going to be here at Sports Corner. He's sending us pictures. He's doing it all today. LACMA is a beautiful place if you haven't visited. Great museum. I want to get up there and take a look. They got some amazing exhibits going on up there. Sunrise this morning, 7:03. Sunset tonight, 6:57. If you'd like to send us a picture, we would love to see it. Email us, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, and we will use it in our sunrise, sunset segment. Haven't seen a really good pet picture for a while. Let's get on that, folks. I love those pet pictures. Those are some of my favorites. One meeting, actually, to tell you about. Then when we come back, Bree will be here with Dr. John Hofanesian. Stay with us.
The Laguna Woods History Center, the only purpose-built local history archive in Orange County, has been capturing the legacy of our community since 1977. As a nonprofit dedicated to preserving today for tomorrow, we collect, conserve, and share the history of Laguna Woods Village, the city of Laguna Woods, and the surrounding Orange County region. Step into the past and connect with the present at your community archive. Whether you're curious about local milestones, searching for historical documents, or exploring treasured artifacts, the History Center is your gateway to the stories that shape Laguna Woods. The Laguna Woods History Center is a separate building adjacent to the Village Library. We are open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or by appointment. Visit us and find your place in history.
Your eyes let you see the world, every smile, every sunset, every moment.
At Harvard Eye Associates, our team of specialists is here to protect your vision.
From cataracts and glaucoma to retina and cornea care, we offer the latest treatments with a compassionate touch.
For over 50 years, you've trusted us with your eyes. We're honored to care for them for years to come.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. We are talking about cataracts, cataract surgery. I've got Dr. John Havanessian.
Well said. Yes,
Thank you.
excellent.
Harvard
For our
Eye
first time working
Associates.
together, that's perfect.
John, so nice to meet you. I've heard
Pleasure.
about you for a year and a half. I've heard your name, so I should be able to pronounce it correctly. But I'm
You did
glad
well.
that I did. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's nice to work with you, Bree, and
Thank you.
love the folks in the Village and love the folks here at Village TV. You do a great program.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we love to educate our viewers and keep them up to date on the latest in technology for health, for computer science, for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
I'm mostly glad you're here, Dr. H, because I personally don't know anything about cataracts.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to kind of back up the truck a little bit and just sort of, because I'm sure there's a lot of viewers out there who have no idea either.
Yeah.
What is a cataract?
Cataract is a really common problem. It's essentially going to happen to all of us if we live long enough, and we certainly hope we live long enough. Cataract is a clouding of the internal lens inside our eye. Most of us don't think about it, but what lives behind the colored part of our eye is a lens that helps the eye focus. And as we age, that lens gradually becomes hardened and more cloudy. And that cloudiness progresses over time, and it can cause symptoms of cataract. Early symptoms often aren't noticeable or attributed to cataract. It can be just a little bit of difficulty reading fine print. It can be noticing glare from headlights or other bright lights around us, and we think, oh gosh, my glasses are dirty. And it's not the glasses, it's inside the eye. And at some point, it often becomes more symptomatic.
And there's nothing you can do to prevent that?
Taking good care of your body is a great way to, forestall cataracts and slow the progression. We don't have a non-surgical way to really correct them, though. It really involves surgery.
Interesting. So I have seen sort of that cloudy over the eye in canines, in dogs.
Yes. And in canines and in humans, sometimes the front window of the eye, the cornea, becomes cloudy, but often in dogs when we see through the colored part, through the pupil, when we see clouding, that is cataract, because it's a very common thing among dogs as well. And cataract surgery is routinely now performed on dogs, not by us, but by veterinary ophthalmologists.
Right. But that's where I've noticed it. So what are the latest in recent years? What's the technology like for cataract surgery? Has it improved? What have you seen over
It has
your
improved
lifespan?
so much in recent, I'm going to say decades. Every year we see incremental change, but occasionally revolutionary change that happens. Nowadays it is a really simple 5-minute, 10-minute procedure that's done as an outpatient. And what we're essentially doing is taking the lens out of the eye and putting in a new lens implant that never gets old, never wears out, never needs replacement or maintenance. There may be, for about 50% of people, a small laser treatment at some point needed, but that's really not a big event. For most people, it's a permanent correction of their vision. And really the biggest revolutionary change that's happened in recent years has been the movement toward using lens implants that are designed not just to basically replace the lens, but to enhance our vision and to make it better than it was before we developed cataract. So people who used to wear glasses or contact lenses maybe don't have to anymore. So it's kind of amazing.
Wow, that's something you can put away and forget about, right?
Yeah, and permanent, right? Because after the lens of the eye is removed and replaced with an implant, the eyes don't change. The new prescription that we give is permanent, because the only part of the eye that's likely to change is the part we've replaced. So while LASIK is a wonderful procedure and can work for decades, it's not as permanent as what we do with cataract and lens replacement surgery. Isn't that cool?
Why would somebody do LASIK then?
It's a great question. So at a younger age, you've got the lens of the eye that has not hardened, and so it's soft and it's pliable, and it allows us to see far and see up close, both without glasses, right? We give some of that up when we put in a lens implant, and we can replace that focusing range in other ways, but really nothing's as good as the lens that God gave you for giving you vision. And with LASIK, what we do is take folks who are nearsighted or farsighted or have astigmatism, and we correct it by putting, like that prescription, right on the surface of the eye on the cornea. So it's a little bit less invasive. Not that cataract surgery is highly invasive, but LASIK is a little bit less invasive and simple, and it almost instantly gives a great result.
Really? Yeah. But it doesn't last as long, you said.
Well, it won't last forever, because most of us will eventually get cataract, right? The lens will age once we get into later life. So it may last until then.
So these are
if you're
two
25 and you have LASIK and it lasts until you're 65, I say that's pretty good, right? And that's often the case.
Interesting. So how does somebody know when it's time to have cataract surgery?
Great question, Bree. So really the symptoms start to become intrusive. The difficulty with fine print, driving after dark, other visual tasks we do routinely. When we have trouble with those, that's when we think about surgery. And thankfully the surgery is fairly easy to go through, and with all these great lens implant options, we can, for many of our patients, it's actually something to look forward to.
Yeah, so tell me about the different lens options.
Yeah, there's several broad categories, and not every type is appropriate for every patient. We spend a lot of time understanding what our patients' visual habits, needs, lifestyle activities are, and then matching technology. There's also cost to many of these implants that's not covered by insurance. And so we're never trying to sell anything to a patient. We want them, though, to understand, because if I do cataract surgery for you, I'm giving you an object that might well be the most important object you receive for the rest of your life, because you're going to look through it the rest of your life. So understanding, we've got multifocal lenses, we've got extended depth of focus, we have toric single focus, we have light adjustable lenses. Each one of these we could unpack for a long time, and we won't, but they all have their place for appropriate patients. Isn't that cool?
Wow. Do you have lenses that can see through walls too?
And not quite. Yeah, that's right.
We're getting there though, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. There are things we don't want to see, right? So we keep we just use basic optics.
That's funny. So having this conversation, I'm thinking through a couple of people that I know who have actually had cataract surgery. Now that I'm understanding what it is. One of them, she came home and she just didn't feel good. And she, I think she had the
shortly after the
dark
procedure,
glasses, and I think we had a lunch appointment or something, and she had to cancel. And so tell me about that. Are there any adverse side effects to having cataract surgery?
Well, it's important to think about side effects and risks with any surgery. In the very short term, right after a procedure, most people are a little bit sedated. We make them relax, because the idea of someone doing something to your eye is not easy for a lot of people. So we give them an IV and we give them a little bit of medicine so they're relaxed, so that I can promise they're not anxious about it.
Okay.
And so the after effect of that can be,
So
a little. If you've ever had a colonoscopy or other procedure with sedation, you may not be up for going out to lunch right afterwards. Yeah. You'll be a little tired and fatigued for the rest of the day, and that's fine. It's a good time to rest. But the next day, most people are back to most normal activities like driving and reading and showering, using a computer. You brought up risks. 1 in 1,000 is the chance of significant or severe side effects that can happen with any surgery in the eye. So retinal detachment, infection, major bleeding that could potentially lead to real loss of vision are possible but rare. The other category is less serious. So I like to make the analogy to driving a car. You can have a serious accident, it could kill you. It's fairly rare though. Or you can have a fender bender, which is more of an annoyance. The fender bender here are less serious complications that might delay healing or require additional surgery. Having some problem that maybe we can fix, maybe we can't, that's not a blinding condition. So maybe 1 in 100 for that second category.
Right. And then can you speak to, my boyfriend actually had cataract surgery. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have known that off the top of my head. His pupils were almost mirror-like.
Yeah. Sometimes
I was like, are you have disco balls in your eyes?
You see a little glint sometimes. Occasionally that's visible if the pupil's big enough, and certain lens implants do less of that. A lot of the modern implants do a little bit less of that than others, but occasionally, yeah, you can see that if you're looking carefully.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So for those of us, and I will put myself in this category, I tend to put things off.
Yeah.
Like, I'll deal with it later. I don't want to be bothered with it right now.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. What would you say to somebody who knows they need to have cataract surgery but just is procrastinating?
Great question. So if cataract is starting to interfere with your lifestyle, it's probably worthwhile to just get it done. Not that there's a rush ever for elective surgery. This is elective in the sense that we don't have to do it today. It's not an emergency. But with time, cataract becomes harder inside the eye. The lens becomes harder, and there are a little bit greater risks of removing it. we're never trying to rush anyone into surgery. And so one of our jobs is to help them understand, okay, in what time frame might you want to consider doing this, right? So is it a this month kind of thing, or this year type of thing, or is this something we can put off for a while? And so that's a decision to make with your eye doctor.
So I didn't realize that this was an elective surgery.
Well, so when I say elective, I don't mean it's elective like a cosmetic surgery. I mean it's elective in the sense that you sort of choose when you do it, right? If you don't treat it, you will become visually disabled eventually, and then it's really not elective. But the technology is good enough that we don't need to wait until we're completely disabled to do it, right? And so in that sense, you can sort of elect when you're ready to do it. So do it when it's a good time for you. You've got a week or two that you're maybe a little bit less busy. And you know, if you want extra help at home, most people don't need it, but that can make it easier if you need that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate all the information. I know our viewers do as well.
Yeah, of
I look
course.
forward to seeing you next time.
Pleasure. Nice meeting you, and a pleasure working with
Thank
you,
you,
Brady.
Dr. H.
Good.
You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
For over 50 years, we've had the privilege of caring for our community's vision.
From routine eye exams to advanced eye care, we're here every step of the way.
Because clear vision means seeing life's most precious moments.
Thank you for trusting Harvard Eye Associates with your vision today and for many years to come.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
When it comes to life's most important medical challenges, where do you go? Welcome to the Hoag Institutes. Our patient-centered approach to care is rooted in clinical excellence and guided by world-class teams. Unparalleled expertise, world-class care, all within the Hoag Institutes, right here in OC.
If you're living with spinal stenosis, sciatica, or any other spine issue, you're not alone. And you do have options.
I was flat on my back. Kind of severe back pain.
At Excel Health, we offer a free MRI review with experienced, fellowship-trained spine surgeons.
I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm active, so.
Our minimally invasive procedures mean most patients are walking just hours after surgery. Call Excel Health today, and let's talk about what we can do for you.
Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and a lot has happened in the past week, so I'll get right to it. Starting in the NBA, some major milestones were set earlier this week. Reigning MVP and NBA champion Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tied an all-time record on Monday night in a close game against conference rival Denver Nuggets. Gilgeous-Alexander completed his 126th consecutive game of scoring at least 20 points, matching Wilt Chamberlain's record streak set from 1961 to 1963. He finished the night with 35 points and a career-high 15 assists without committing a single turnover, joining LeBron James as the only other player to record at least 35 points and 15 assists with no turnovers since turnovers became an official stat in 1977. As the icing on the cake, Gilgeous-Alexander's final points of the night came on the game-winning step-back three-pointer with 3.3 seconds remaining to lift the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder to a 129-126 win over the Denver Nuggets. Then, on Tuesday, another historic night in basketball took place. The Miami Heat and Washington Wizards tipped off a standard mid-season weeknight game that was slated to be just a regular old game. But Bam Adebayo had other plans. Looking back in history and mentioning another Wilt Chamberlain record, on March 2nd, 1962, Chamberlain led the Philadelphia Warriors to an astounding 169-147 win over the New York Knicks. Chamberlain finished that night setting an untouchable record, scoring 100 points. He also set 5 other records, including most free throws made, and the two teams broke the record for most combined points in a game with 316. Fast forward to January of 2006, Los Angeles Lakers star Kobe Bryant scored a career-high 81 points in a 122-104 win over the Toronto Raptors. Bryant came in behind Wilt's performance and set the record for the second most points in a single game in NBA history. That is, until Tuesday night. Almost 64 years to the day from Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points, setting league marks for free throws made and attempted in a game in the Miami Heat's 150-129 win over the Washington Wizards. His final stats were 20 for 43 from the field, 36 for 43 from the foul line, 7 for 22 from three-point range. He also tallied on 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Before that game, Adebayo's career high was 41 points, and he had surpassed that mark before halftime. The NBA playoffs begin in just about a month, so we'll see if historic performances like these will continue. Speaking of breaking records, an absolutely jaw-dropping record was broken earlier this week. On Sunday, Ugandan distance runner Jacob Kiplimo set the world record for fastest time in the half marathon, finishing the EDP Lisbon half marathon in 57 minutes and 20 seconds. The previous record was 57 minutes and 30 seconds, meaning Kiplimo now holds the mark by a whole 10 seconds. Not only that, he won his race by 48 seconds. For reference of just how fast he was running, that's an average mile pace of about 4 minutes and 22 seconds per mile. The world record mile time is 3 minutes and 43 seconds, meaning Kiplimo was running just 39 seconds slower, but for 13.1 miles. An absolutely ridiculous amount of talent, and I would be shocked if that record was broken anytime soon. Moving on to the NFL, the past week was filled with a lot of drama. I'll save the biggest story for the end, but the free agency period has been absolutely wild to this point. So many big-name players are headed to new teams, and it would take me several whole shows to cover all of them. So, instead, I'll rattle off some of the biggest transactions from this past week. The Colts re-signed quarterback Daniel Jones. Travis Kelce is remaining with the Chiefs. The Eagles signed Super Bowl champion defensive back Tariq Woolen. The New York Jets traded for quarterback Geno Smith, who now returns to the team that drafted him. The Detroit Lions signed running back Isaiah Pacheco, and that move comes after the Chiefs signed Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker. The Steelers signed running back Rico Dowdle after Kenneth Gainwell left Pittsburgh to join Tampa Bay. The Atlanta Falcons agreed to terms with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Mike Evans, the leading wide receiver in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history, left the Bucs to join the San Francisco 49ers. Wan'Dale Robinson's headed to Tennessee. Travis Etienne is joining the Saints. Malik Willis is the Dolphins' next quarterback. Michael Pittman Jr. is now a Steeler. Alec Pierce is remaining a Colt, and so on. The Raiders have been the biggest story of this offseason. They've spent a lot of money acquiring Taron Johnson, Tyler Linderbaum, Jalen Naylor, Kwity Paye, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, and more. However, the strangest and most dramatic move comes from their star player, edge rusher Max Crosby. On March 6th, in the biggest trade in franchise history, the Baltimore Ravens acquired 5-time Pro Bowl defensive end Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders for first-round picks in 2026 and 2027. This move was set to put the Ravens back in Super Bowl contention. Then, on Tuesday night, the Baltimore Ravens shockingly announced that they were backing out of the trade for Crosby, citing a failed physical due to a knee injury. If this wasn't shocking enough for you, the drama continues. After the announcement, the Ravens almost immediately announced they had signed edge rusher Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals. So, the Ravens retained their 2 first-round picks and still acquired an all-pro pass rusher. Now, the question remains if Crosby will somehow still stay with the Raiders or if he will still be traded to a new team, this time for a cheaper price. Like I said, it's already been a wild week in the NFL, but I think the drama is just beginning. Moving on from football, the World Baseball Classic is still being played. Team USA got their tournament underway last weekend with a whopping 15-5 victory over Brazil, then kept it rolling with a 9-1 win against Great Britain. On Monday, Paul Skeens led the way for the Americans, allowing just 1 hit and striking out 7 batters through 4 innings. Aaron Judge hit a 2-run home run to open up the scoring, and Team USA defeated Mexico 5-3 to improve to 3-0 in the tournament. But on Tuesday night, Team Italy jumped out to a large 8-0 lead over the Americans. USA clawed their way back, but still fell just short 8-6. Heading into Wednesday, Team USA was facing elimination. In the matchup of Italy versus Mexico, the US still had 2 ways in which they could advance. Option 1, Italy had to defeat Mexico outright. Option 2, if Mexico were to win, they would need to score 5 or more runs. Since every team would be tied with a 3-1 record if Mexico were to win, the tiebreakers would come down to runs scored. In that deciding game, Kansas City Royals first baseman Vinny Pasquantino hit 3 home runs, becoming the first ever player to accomplish that feat in the World Baseball Classic. Not only did he make history, but his performance also helped Team Italy and the United States advance to the quarterfinals of the Classic thanks to a dominant 9-1 win over Mexico. Now, thanks to Italy, the United States advances to the quarterfinals and will face who else but Canada. That game will begin today at 5 p.m. on Fox, so tune in to watch the Americans and Canadians face off in another important matchup. With all that said, enjoy all of the basketball, baseball, hockey, golf, tennis, and more that this week has to offer. Be sure to come right back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. See you next time.
Orange County's only PGA Tour event is back. The Hogue Classic tees off at Newport Beach Country Club March 22nd through the 29th. Watch Miguel Angel Jimenez defend his title against PGA Tour legends. Enjoy world-class competition, signature events, and luxury hospitality all week long. Come for the golf and stay for the party. Availability is limited. Buy your tickets now at hogueclassic.com.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. We follow the mantra, when family can't be there, we can. We started our business almost 30 years ago because we realized that seniors in these situations still need loving care. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at our movie for today and for Saturday. We got some good ones lined up. Here we go. Everything is Illuminated. It stars Elijah Wood. It's brought to us by City of Hope. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. A young Jewish man, with help from an eccentric local, endeavors to find the woman who saved his grandfather during World War II in a Ukrainian village that was ultimately razed by the Nazis. So there you go. Very interesting one, kind of a fun journey there, and a very interesting journey as well. And then on Saturday, a real lighthearted one, really fun matchup. And if you haven't seen this movie, this is one to see. Now You See Me stars Dave Franco and a lot of other folks in this one. Pacific Financial Planners bringing us this one. And it's going to be 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. A diamond heist reunites retired horseman illusionist with his new performers, Greenblatt, Smith, and Sessa, as they target dangerous criminals. Ooh, sounds like a fun one on Saturday. Okay, let's check our forecast. If you're not going to stay in and watch movies, go out and enjoy the nice temperatures. Oh, I don't know about nice maybe for today, but it's going to cool off on Saturday. 87 today. It's going to be very warm out there. Bring some water. Make sure you're wearing the sunscreen. Then we start to cool off for a couple days and then right back up to the 80s and upper 80s on Tuesday. All right, folks, Saturday on the program, I'll be here. And as well on the program, we're also going to hear from Pet Well Clinic and PC Club. There you go. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.